I'm going to be doing a demonstration today for you of how to make peppermint bark at home. It is so easy and you are going to love it. Okay, and you can do tons of different types of candy. Candy is really fun to make with kids. It's usually pretty easy. So for this recipe, we are going to start with Tupperware stack cooker, and we're going to melt our chocolate in the stack cooker. So I'm going to get the chocolate in the microwave, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about what the stack cooker can do. So there are a couple of parts or pieces of the stack cooker we're not going to be using right now. So I'll put those to the side. We are going to use this one a little bit later, but we're going to use our small casserole dish to melt our first batch of chocolate. So we need 1 bag of semi-sweet chocolate, but I have more than that. So I'm just going to measure out one and a half cups. And you can do this with milk chocolate if you like. It just depends on how sweet you want it, since we are going to be putting white chocolate on top of it. Okay, so that's 1.5 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips. And now I'm going to put the lid to the stack cooker on top of the casserole dish and put it in the microwave for 45 seconds. So if you are going to be melting chocolate, you want to be using the stack cooker. The stack cooker melts chocolate so much faster and so much smoother than any other microwave bowl that you can use. It also will prevent burning. I mean, you have to really try to burn your chocolate in here. It's possible, but you really have to try. And the stack cooker is actually meant to make meals in minutes, okay? So you have all these different layers, right? And you saw the 2 that I put in the microwave, and you can stack these on top of each other to make 3 different layers, and then you can cook something different on each layer. So for example, you could do pasta in the bottom, which you would be cooking with water, and then this layer has a colander on it, right? You can kind of see the slats in it. So now you can steam something because the pasta water will steam the vegetables or chicken or fish or whatever you have on this layer, right? And then you could do maybe, like if you're doing fish, you could do vegetables on another layer. So there are so many combinations, and it all just goes in the microwave for a few minutes, about 7 minutes per pound. So it's usually like 14, 15 minutes and dinner's ready. So easy. Okay, so every time that you melt chocolate in the microwave, you want to stir it in between each round. Okay, so you can see we haven't really made that much progress on melting, but I'm going to stir it anyway because some of the chocolate chips on the bottom are starting to stick to the bottom of the stack cooker, and you want to make sure they don't do that. Okay, so we're just going to stir it a little bit, and then we're going to put it back in for another 45 seconds. All right, another really cool thing about the stack cooker is that I can take this cone, which comes with it, and put it in the middle of the biggest casserole dish, just like this. Now I can do breaded items. Of course, I put the lid on as well, but the lid's in the microwave right now. I can make cake in 8 minutes in the microwave, and it is so delicious. I can do a chocolate lava cake, an orange creamsicle cake, so many options. I can do monkey bread for breakfast. I can do pull-apart rolls for dinner. The stack cooker can almost do anything. You can put a whole chicken in here. Cook the chicken in the microwave, really easy. Okay, so our next round is we're gonna be melting our white chocolate. So that's what I'm gonna use the second casserole dish for, right? To keep our regular chocolate and our white chocolate separate. Okay, so when it comes out, it is pretty melted, but you can still see they're in chocolate chip form, right? So all I have to do is stir it and they're done, okay? So 2 rounds at 45 seconds and all of that chocolate is already done. So fast in the stack cooker, so smooth, and again, no burning. So I'm gonna take our silicone baking sheet with rim, which is this purple guy right here. This is silicone, okay? So one thing that's awesome is to store it, you can just fold it up as small as you need and store it somewhere. But what of course is amazing about it, nothing sticks to this thing. Nothing. It's incredible. Okay, so that's why we're gonna do our bark on it. Another really fun candy recipe I like to do with the silicone mat, there's tons you could do with the silicone mat, but is chocolate covered pretzel rods, right? So you melt your chocolate, you dip your pretzel rods in them, and then you can cover them with anything you like, sprinkles or nuts or any kind of other chocolate. You could drizzle white chocolate on it. Lots of options. So for bark, we are just gonna put our chocolate on the silicone mat and then just spread it out into a big rectangle square. And you can make it as thick or as thin as you like. Totally up to you. Just remember you are putting another layer of chocolate on top of this. So it's gonna be twice as thick when you get to that point. Okay, now I am going to pop this in the freezer. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put our white chocolate chips in the microwave. So again, 45 seconds. Now, because this demonstration is going a little, quicker, I'm not gonna be able to leave the chocolate in the freezer as long as I would like. So if you're doing this at home, I recommend leaving it in there for about 10 minutes. Okay, so our next step is going to be to prepare the peppermint pieces that are gonna go on top of the white chocolate. So I just have peppermint candies, okay? So just get them at the store, little peppermint candies, and I have just taken the wrapping off, like they're individually wrapped. So I took the wrapping off some of them, and I'm gonna put them in Tupperware's Power Chef. Okay, so move this. So secret, I already made this once. I'm gonna show you one that's finished at the end. So I've already chopped up some peppermint patties, so there's some extras in here, but here we go. Okay, so I dumped in the peppermint patties and I'm just gonna put the lid on. We'll do that in a second. I'm just gonna stir the white chocolate chips. Okay, so again, they're not that melted yet, right? We haven't really made that much progress. We can see all those that are sticking to the bottom and didn't move. So that's what we want to stir up. So we're gonna stir our chocolate. Perfect. And then we're gonna put it back in for another 45 seconds. Okay, so this is Tupperware's Supersonic chopper. This is probably my #1 product, and honestly, my #2 is the stack cooker, and we're not talking about it in this video, but my #3 is the Fridge Smarts, okay? So those are my top 3 products. But the Supersonic chopper is incredible because this will dice up anything in a matter of seconds. I could put an onion in here, like 3-5 pulls. I'm gonna pull this cord, and it's completely diced. It's incredible. Anything you can, like any vegetable, any fruit, anything you want diced up. But it will also shred your meat. You can also whip up a cake mix in here, and you can also make an omelet in here, like beat up all the eggs with all the add-ins. You can do salsa in here. There's tons of recipes, dips, smoothies. It's incredible. But for right now, I'm just gonna pull the cord and we're gonna make peppermint pieces out of the peppermint candies that I put in here. Okay, so hopefully you can see, we just diced up our peppermint pieces into a bunch of little peppermint pieces so we can put it on the top of our bark. Okay, let me get the white chocolate. Okay, so again, 2 rounds at 45 seconds. So I'm expecting our chocolate to be done, and it is. So now I'm just smoothing it out, mixing it up a little bit. Perfect. Okay, so again, if you're doing this recipe at home, I recommend leaving the chocolate in the freezer for about 10 minutes, but I'm gonna pull mine out early to show you the rest of the recipe. Okay, so now I have my semi-sweet chocolate and I'm gonna cover it with the white chocolate. So just kind of spread it out a little bit and then just spread it around on top of the chocolate with your spatula. Now, in between these two, right, we put the regular chocolate, the semi-sweet chocolate, into the freezer, excuse me. But we are not gonna do that for this next round, okay? So we're gonna smooth out the white chocolate, and you want the white chocolate to still be warm, and we're gonna put the peppermint pieces right on top of it. And the reason we're doing that is we want those peppermint pieces to stick into the melted chocolate. So this one, you can tell, I didn't wait long enough with my white chocolate in between because the white chocolate and the milk chocolate are kind of mixing together. So that's why you want to wait at least 10 minutes, is because then you'll have more of a pure white color and they won't mix together. So now I'm going to take our peppermint pieces and I'm just going to sprinkle them all over. And you do want these to stick into wet white chocolate so they don't fall off. So that's why we do it right away. Okay. All right, so there you go. That's the whole recipe. So easy, really fun to do with kids. You can do this for any holiday. You can do this any time of year because you could just change the topping, all right? If you wanted to do it for St. Patrick's Day, you could cut up Andy's mints and put them in there, or you could do green sprinkles, anything you want. So now this goes back in the freezer for 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm gonna put it in. Okay, and I gave away the surprise earlier. Earlier in the demo, but I have already made one. Okay, so this is a separate one that has been in the freezer for actually a couple of hours by now. But I wanted to show you how incredible this silicone mat is because I haven't touched this, right? And I can just peel off this whole thing of bark with no problem, right? It just came right off. And I mean, you saw the one I just did. I didn't grease it, I didn't spray it, I didn't do anything, okay? So amazing. And then this can just go right in the dishwasher. So, and then break this up, of course, into bark and you're good to go. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this recipe and I hope you get a chance to make it.